yeah, I'm all in. I'm all in for this, hopefully, franchise. All right. I want a prequel to have more of his backstory. I want a sequel to maybe have a big bad guy for him to finally go after. And hey, guess what? I wanna cross over with John Wick. All right. Make it happen. It's the same freaking writer. I'm sure it's like the same producers.
I think I heard from, I think I read something from Connie Nielsen that they're already working on a sequel, or at least trying to write one. So maybe you're gonna get your wish.
I like it. I like it. It better have John Wick though. Just saying, it better have John Wick. At least cameo, like maybe he's like peeking around the corner.
I'll say this:
Just a
if
little
John
bit.
Wick shows up in the next one, I'm in. Or we'll review it.
All right, man, let's get it going. Let's get it going because I already knew you weren't gonna like this movie because you don't like fun.
Here's the thing, bro. I know it's fun, but is it forgettable?
No, no, it's definitely not forgettable. No, it's not.
It definitely
I'm all in on this one.
It definitely is.
All in.
All right, man. Here we go.
All right, what up?
3, 2, 1. What's up, bud? Welcome back.
Hey, Daddy's home. Daddy's home.
Everybody watching, cheers.
Cheers, guys. Welcome back.
The boys are back in town. Al's
Yes,
back.
sir. Yes.
His little escapades.
Yes,
Ooh.
yes, sir.
Howdy there, partner.
Howdy, howdy. Back from Texas.
All right. There you go. It soaked up a little of the local culture, huh?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm gonna speak with a southern accent throughout the whole episode.
If you can keep it going, I'll be impressed. Without
No, it's
breaking
very
character.
tiring. It's very tiring.
All right, man. Well,
So what's going on, guy?
you know, I'm gonna save the shots. I was gonna take a shot right now at this movie, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna hold the punches. Because honestly, I like Bob Odenkirk. He's a good guy, but
Yeah. He's a great actor. Great actor.
you know, and let me just warn everybody right now. If this is your first time on the show. Warning: spoilers are coming. All right,
Heavy.
All of our episodes are very
Heavy
spoiler heavy, so
spoilers.
just warning you guys right now. Also, go ahead and put the grading right now. We're gonna be diving a full view into this movie right now and breaking it down. And also, don't be afraid to follow us on the Instagram. So I'll put that up as well, so you can find us there.
IG.
And but yeah, man, nobody, huh? 2021.
Nobody. 2021. Big.
We're not talking about that
Is this
Key
the
Sweat
first-
song, are we?
No. Great song too.
Hey,
Classic.
I wouldn't mind reviewing
And
that.
this movie, much like this movie, is going to be a classic as well.
No,
Just putting it
that
out.
song is definitely classic, right? But but nobody the movie 2021.
Yes.
Man, I don't know, bro. I mean, we're gonna get into it in a second from now, but
You go ahead, bud, because hopefully you could defend yourself with all this, like, crapping all over it already, pretty much.
all right. Well, hold up before we get into the synopsis. What are you sipping on today?
Back on that Truly iced tea one, which is still tasty. There's actually a new Truly Extra, which is 8% alcohol that I've been trying to find, but I can't find it anywhere.
Oh, okay. All right. There you go.
Mhm.
All right. Well, that's more than me. I'm just drinking some iced tea tonight.
Okay, hey,
So
that's
yeah.
fine.
Yeah, a little
That's
chai
fine.
iced tea. Very good.
Nothing wrong with that.
But let's go and break into the synopsis on this movie, and then we'll break into the review. So, all right. So, Nobody is a 2021 American action thriller film directed by Ilya Naishuller and written by Derek Kolstad. The film stars Bob Odenkirk, Connie Nielsen, RZA, Michael Ironside, Colin Salmon, and Christopher Lloyd. It follows a man who, while following clues regarding his recent home invasion, helps an underage girl being harassed by a group of men, only to become the target of a vengeful drug lord. Odenkirk and David Leitch are among the film's producers. The film was released theatrically on March 26th. Had a budget of 16 million only, which is pretty small. Actually, pretty
Wow.
surprising because you're right. The movie does look very, very sharp. And a box office so far of 35 million. So obviously it's
Very
hasn't been
decent.
out that long. So I have a feeling that number is going to go up a little bit. But yeah, Nobody. You want to go ahead? What do you think? What do you think about this story here? And then
All
I'll,
right. I'll
I'll let
I'll
loose.
definitely I'll definitely okay. I'll definitely start off. It's I give it a 6 out of 10. It's not, game changing or anything. It's about a regular Joe Schmo, or so you thought, like nobody, runs afoul of the Russian mob. I don't know if is this starting to sound familiar, guys? Be-
It
because it
sounds a
is.
little familiar. It sounds a
It
little
is
familiar. Does he
because
have a
it's pretty.
dog?
It's yeah. Is this no? There's not a dog. There's a kitty cat bracelet, not a dog. It sounds familiar because pretty much this is a rewrite of the first John Wick, which makes sense because fun fact the writer what's his name, Derek Kolstad, creator and writer of all three John Wick movies also.
Yeah.
So there you go. And so that's why, but big difference. John Wick, he wanted to stay retired. He wanted to stay out. But good old Hutch here, it looks like he was just trying to find a reason to get back into his like old life. He was like, kitty cat bracelet. All right, I'm killing everybody.
That's enough for me to go on a rampage.
Pretty much that's what set him off, was like the kitty cat bracelet.
Yeah, I know. What I did in my notes, I put this is John Wick meets American Beauty. It's like the dad going through like the midlife crisis, but he just also happens to be like a secret auditor assassin guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then he just goes on this rampage. But yeah, very much nodding to John Wick. And
Yeah.
I just feel like the story itself, I mean, in terms of the plot, I only give it a 3. I just felt kind of I don't know, maybe because like I said, you said the connections to Wick, like it just feels kind of boring, just kind of lazy, like in the writing, like the Russian mobsters, like, oh, okay, you know what I mean? And a lot of it just feels, I watched another review and the guy he kind of pointed out too, says, it feels a lot of like happenstance, a lot of like coincidence, like it just kind of like hits one domino and then it sets all these things off in motion. And you just felt like kind of like an excuse to just go down this ride, which don't get me wrong, if you know what I mean, it's action, it's just fun. But at the same time, just really not a lot to it. And you kind of don't really feel ever like any tension, you know what I mean? Or even really like any kind of obstacle for the hero, Odenkirk's character to like overtake. But it's more just kind of sets him off on this thing. Like you said, he if anything, he was eager, right?
Yeah, he was like just waiting. He's just like, what's it gonna be? Because like he saw like how monotonous his life was like in the very beginning. And you're just like, and he's probably was thinking, he's like, man, if I miss one more trash day, this is gonna be it.
I know. For a guy that seemed pretty buttoned up, I don't know how he managed to be late every trash day. I don't know. It's not that hard at my house.
Every Tuesday.
I don't know.
Every Tuesday.
And that garbage man, this is a real son of a bitch. All right. He's just honking the horn, teasing him, haunting.
Like,
in the NFL, that's 15 yards at least. You know what I mean? You can't be doing that. All right. But yeah, I only gave it a 3. I mean, once the story begins, you pretty much know what's going to happen. But let's get into the production. In terms of production, it actually does look pretty sharp. The camera work, there's a lot of fun angles and stuff that they did. Even actually looking now that I know the budget's as low as it is, I'm actually kind of impressed with the stuff that they did pull off, considering what they had to work with. There's a lot of like music montages that they kind of interject in.
Yes.
Maybe gets a little heavy-handed at times, to be honest with you, a little bit to do it, but it breaks it up. It kind of gives like levity to everything. But overall, for in terms of production, I ended up giving it 17.
Okay, we're not too far away. I gave it an 18. Funny you should mention like the music. The first and foremost, the soundtrack on this movie was great. Like all the oldies, all the funk, all great song selections, and it's just even made better because the villain is like super into karaoke, which was like a pretty nice touch.
Yeah.
And great editing. I love the editing on this one. Like I mentioned, like just the editing of like his monotonous life in the very beginning of the movie was great. Kind of seems like my life, except sprinkling a little bit of podcast now and then. And stunts were great, fights were great. They were really gritty. It looks like that bus fight it looked super painful. Like it seemed like super legit. So give it an 18 out of 20. I definitely like it. Looks super slick considering, like you said, $16 million, guys. 16, not 60.
Yeah, it really did. They did a good job there. I mean, working with that small budget. But let's get into the performances here. I'm being kind of hard on this movie, but I'm actually a really big Bob Odenkirk fan.
Same.
Obviously from Breaking Bad and then Better Call Saul. I'm a huge Better Call Saul fan. I think he's excellent in that show. I think that's one of the best shows on TV, to be honest. But maybe contrary to popular opinion on this, I'm not crazy about the casting on this movie. Like his character in
Really?
here, I don't know. It didn't quite work for me. As much as I like him as an actor, and even this supporting cast too, like Connie Nielsen as the wife. Like I don't know, I didn't really buy
Hmm.
it that they were like a couple. She was kind of stiff in it. I think she's a decent actress in her own right, but I just didn't buy them together. I just don't know about the chemistry between them.
Well,
Christopher Lloyd's okay. RZA's kind of
uh,
put it in there. He's not the best actor, let's be honest.
the
And then
RZA.
maybe he needed to drop a
Wu
few bars.
Tang, bro. Wu Tang.
I know, I got it, I
Oh
got it.
man.
But
Sheesh.
even like the villain, Julian or whatever, he hams it up, and he's just so cartoonish. It's like I don't know. And then in between, you get to see Bob Odenkirk kill a bunch of NPCs, right? Just non-player characters, just maskless tactical SWAT guys who can't seem to hit the like. It can't seem to hit him, but he can't seem to miss when he needs to. You know what I mean? I don't know. It was just, I don't know, man. What do you got in your notes there? I know you got copious notes.
I I have very copious notes. Well, this and it was funny, like you didn't like the casting because this movie came about because I don't know if I read this correctly, but Odin Dirk he actually went through this. Like his family did get a home invasion robbery, and
Oh, I didn't know
he did like he did play his role. Like he said, like yeah, I didn't like fight back, and the cop said like you did the right thing, and then he had the idea about like what if I didn't like went off, and that's when he talked to Derek Kolstad to kind of make the film and all that. And like you said, I'm a big Odin Dirk fan also because Breaking Bad, which I still think is the best show I've ever watched in my life. Honestly, besides Walter White, my favorite character in that series was Saul Goodman. And I think a lot of people will back me up on that
it's
too.
all good, man.
Honestly, yeah, it's all good, man. And unlike you, I like Christopher Lloyd like in this movie. Like it took me by surprise that he was in it as a dad. He wasn't in much, but every scene that he was in, it was funny. And like for being like what 90 years old, like he was still pretty spry for 90 years old in an action movie. And I like RZA. All right, I'm a Wu Tang fan, and his character kind of, and it kind of, yeah, it wasn't acting wasn't the best. I get you, all right, but it makes you more intrigued about like why was he in hiding? Like why is he like the brother of like Hutch? And I like Connie Nielsen. Like yeah, they didn't have a chemistry, but that's because they were already on the tail end of their relationship where they were kind of on the rocks, so they kind of made it seem like they weren't like have chemistry, but because like they're already about to split up and all that. So
There's a lot that they
23
kind of
out
like,
of
yeah,
30.
there's a lot like kind of in between the lines, you know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
that they don't give you the background. Like you don't really get a lot on his background, Hutch's background. Like you said, you don't get a lot on his history with RZA or his dad's background. Obviously his dad's, equipped to handle all this stuff or
Hmm.
the issues with him and his wife. But I don't know, like normally I like that kind of stuff, but in this one, I don't know. I just wasn't intrigued. I just really wasn't. There was like
Hmm.
missing like a certain charm to
Really?
this movie to me that normally it just didn't pull me in. I don't know if I'm the only one. Maybe
Hmm.
you guys like who are watching, you guys can tell me in the comments below. Like, am I crazy? But for me, the characters weren't all that interesting to me. Like it didn't like whereas like John Wick,
Hmm.
it's very stylized. It's done in a certain manner, and yeah, it's not like he's like this, super complex character either. But I don't know, there's a certain charisma about that movie. This one, I just didn't really land for me there. In terms of score, I give it 21. So, would you say
Okay.
you end up
I
giving it
gave
in
it a
terms of acting?
23.
Okay,
23.
yeah, so we're not
And
too
I
far
get you.
away.
I get like, yeah, I get you because like, look, I love the John Wick movies, and this one's not supposed. Yeah, it's super similar, but he's not supposed to be John Wick. He's not supposed to be cool. Like when he first started that fight, like in the bus, you thought like, all right, he's just gonna tear these guys apart. But he didn't. He got his like he was getting his ass whooped also because he was so rusty and he hasn't pretty been the auditor in like what 20 some odd years. So yeah, there is gonna be a difference between the two. It's not gonna be like cool guy John Wick that everybody wants to be. No, he's like you said, he's like the dad from American Beauty, but that happens to be an auditor.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, let's get into the directing overall here. What do you think in terms of, like the execution? I mean, I think you can kind of tell where I'm leaning on this, but would you give it in terms
Right.
of directing?
Directing, I gave it a 24. And
Wow.
it's always run times with always run times with me. Hour and a half, quick and nasty, the way I like it. All right. I'm talking about movies.
All
Talking
right,
about movies.
okay, just making sure. Keep going.
About movies. Great pacing, all killer, no filler. I like that. 24 out of 30. And like the fight choreography and all that very, like I said, very gritty, very realistic. It wasn't over the top. It was just kind of like just peeking over the top. So, it wasn't like John Wick's like super stylized, like, gunfights or anything, but it was still there. And I enjoyed the end fight scene with like all the booby traps and all that, like a grown up Home Alone.
Yeah, exactly what I was thinking too. I will disagree a little bit on the end fight scene too. I'll say with Odenkirk's his scenes, and I think he did a lot of his own stunts, at least from what we can tell from the cam work.
Yeah, I believe so.
I thought they were fine. I thought they were done well. But when he introduces his dad at the end, I forget the character's name, and RZA towards the end in the factory, it got a little clunky, like just in terms of like their parts, like they weren't quite as crisp with the movements and stuff when they're shooting the bad guys. And then the villain himself, like, okay, like you kill all the like the NPCs, okay, I got it. Now you got the main villain, like the main bad guy, like in a video game. And then he was just kind of like, meh, you know what I mean? Like he killed him, like he ran up to him with that shield, that plexi shield, and then like blows him up with a claymore. And it was just like, I don't know, it was just so unbelievable to me. I kind of had a hard time with that one.
Well, yeah, it's supposed to be like, it was a little over the top. And it's not like, yeah, he was like the main villain, but it's not like he was like Zangief or anything. Like he's gonna be like, like a powerhouse. No, he was just like an old dude that loves karaoke that just happened to be in the Russian mob like for all these years that he too wanted out also. So yeah, man, like agree to disagree on that.
Maybe it needed that though. Maybe it needed like that big arch villain, or like some big tough guy in there for him to go up against, to where you feel like, okay, he's gonna meet his match, or at least some kind of feeling like that. I felt like it kind of took the easy way out at the end. It was just kind of whatevs. And then he gets his,
hopefully for
the ending scene where it kind of comes full circle and he's talking to like the cops and he pulls the kitten out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I mean, it was all kind of to set up that moment. It felt like everything just like leads to an end, which I don't hate, but at the same time too, like I don't know, it felt a little hokey sometimes to me. In terms of X Factor, you know what? You better go first on this one.
Here we go. Let me start this off right before Captain Wet Blanket over here takes over. Here, hold on. 10 out of 10 for the X Factor. 10 out of 10. I'm all in. I'm all in for this, hopefully, franchise. All right. I want a prequel to have more of his backstory. I want a sequel to maybe have a big bad guy for him to finally go after. And hey, guess what? I want to cross over with John Wick. All right, make it happen. It's the same freaking writer. I'm sure it's like the same producers. I was honestly hoping that phone call at the end was John Wick, and he's gonna be like, "I'm coming after you." I'm like, we need this. We need this, guys. We need a John Wick crossover. And honestly, when he killed like all those guys like in his house, and then he was like cleaning up afterwards, I was really hoping he would call those cleaners from like John Wick and they would make a little brief cameo to tie it into the John Wick universe. Yeah,
John Wick. When they showed his family when they escaped, they went to that same hotel.
Yeah, like hide out, right? Went to the Continental.
Yeah,
and then he even had gold bars. Like, not granted, it wasn't the gold coins like John Wick, but it was gold bars. I'm just like, come on, guys. Just make this into the John Wick universe. Come on.
Well, it's like those little things that I think would make John Wick kind of a special case. And when he goes and buys the guns and he sees the the concierge, there's a concierge in, and the sommelier, all this stuff. Like, it's all those like extra dessert things. Yeah, and for dessert.
Dessert.
Academy Award.
We're gonna watch that movie after this.
Honestly, we should. But I think those are the things that kind of push it over the top for me in this movie. I don't know. I mean, it tried. It definitely tried, but it just didn't have that same charisma. I ended up giving it a 1. It wasn't from me.
You bastard! You bastard! I knew you were gonna do that.
But I'll just say, for the people out there, like if. I think for people that are the John Wick fans and you just want that kind of mindless fun, hey, go for it, man.
You're going to love this movie. You're going to love this movie.
Yeah, that's what it is. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm kind of harkening back to what we said in the beginning. Like, it's definitely fun, but for me, it's a little forgettable. I got to be honest. Like, as soon as it's over, I was just kind of meh. But I will say this. I think I heard from, or I think I read something from Connie Nielsen that they're already working on a sequel, or at least trying to write one. So maybe you're going to get your wish.
I like it. It better have John Wick though. Just saying, it better have a John Wick. At least cameo, like maybe he's like peeking around the corner or something.
I'll say this: if John Wick shows up in the next one, I'm in. We'll review it.
I'm just bummed I didn't watch this in the theater. Like, I'm just at this point. I should have watched this in the theater instead of just renting it on Prime, because this I definitely needed to. I think you would probably appreciate this more in the big screen. I think.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I definitely could see that, like in that full
Yeah.
immersion. But all right. So total scores, would you end up giving it?
I gave it a 81 out of 100. I highly recommend this movie. I
Ooh.
suggest you go rent it and watch it. If you're a fan of fun, unlike Captain Wet Blanket over here, I think you'll love this movie.
I give it a 61. So
Ah, you son of a
definitely don't pay
bitch.
$20 like I did to watch this. Pay like $3.99 when it's on Prime. You watch it
Uh,
on a random Wednesday night, hanging out with your friend there on the couch. You know what I mean? Don't take it too serious. It's just, like I said, it's kind of big dumb fun.
mm.
But it is what it is. In the words of Al.
I guess so, man. But like I said, highly recommend this movie. Go watch it and tell Steve he's wrong in the comments, please.
Yeah, for
To
sure.
show
You guys gotta leave the feedback. We gotta hear on this one, who's right on this one, because me and Al, we're like polar opposites. So am I right? Is Al right? What'd you guys think? Leave the comments below. Let us know
I'm
what you
right.
guys think. Do you guys want to see a sequel? Do you want to see more from this universe? What do you think about Bob Odenkirk playing an action hero of sorts? What do you think? Showing his range?
Unlike you, I honestly I think he pulled it off. He's a great actor.
Well, that's all I got for tonight, unless you got anything else, bud.
No, man. Proving you wrong, hopefully. And you seem like the Principal Skinner meme right now. You're just like, it's not me, it's the kids who are wrong.
Well, then, from the nightcap, dare I say happy trails?
See you guys, partner.